Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of
My Waifu
and me. And today we're going to be going over the first half of our July reading log. So that means we're going to be going one by one through all of the manga we've already read in the month of July, telling you a little bit about our experiences with each of these series, and also maybe giving you some new manga recommendations. I think that maybe this will be something new that you'd want to check out, or something you'd want to run to your Barnes & Noble and buy right away, or maybe it's just something you want to find online to read as well, whatever that might be. So let's get right into this. Let's talk about some of the manga that we've read this month. So Waifu, you have a much bigger stack than me. So please tell the world, what have you been reading this month in the month of July?
So first I'm going to just quickly cover the digital reading that I've been doing, and that mainly consists of Golden Kamuy, which I read, I don't even know how much, at least 50 chapters of Golden Kamuy.
Yeah.
I caught up with what's available on Shonen Jump online. On the desktop only, you can't see it on the app because it's explicit content for Golden Kamuy. And then I just started Dragon Ball the other day, and I'm like, already 50 chapters in?
Dragon Ball
Z.
She's already seen Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I watched Dragon Ball. I watched it all last year when we were, in quarantine and everything. So finally, I'm gonna just watch I'm gonna read Dragon Ball Z because we're going to watch Kai, but it's not available.
It's just really hard.
Anywhere.
If you didn't know to watch Kai, you have to find it. It's not easy to find right now. So
it's not.
She decided to opt for the manga for Z.
Yeah, but I'm loving it so much, and I was kind of inspired to start reading it because we went to Kamea-con this last weekend.
We did.
At the time of this recording, of course, and it was just really cool. I really loved the community. I loved meeting the voice actors. So I do hope we get to watch it someday. But for now, I will just read it. So that's my digital reading, and
we'll make sure that she gets to watch Kai at some point. Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
Figure it out.
But the big thing is, if you haven't heard of Golden Kamuy, I also have gotten the pleasure of marathoning the anime a little bit, along with her reading the manga, and we already have purchased. So now that she's read it, a little bit of a spoiler warning for maybe one of our future hauls, but we may have purchased a couple volumes of Golden Kamuy as well. You'll have to see in the future, but you'll have to see once we have them in hand. But it's a really cool historical fiction series. So if you're into that and you really want to watch something with a cool premise, it's a really cool concept about sort of this treasure hunt across across, Japan?
Hokkaido.
Yeah.
Japan.
So it's very interesting. If you're into that sort of stuff, check it out for sure. And obviously, if you don't know Dragon Ball Z at this point, I feel sorry for you.
You're probably a baby or something?
Or you just have somehow lived under a rock forever, but, check out Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, on that topic, though, I've also done a bit of digital reading. Only a couple of different volumes, but I read the first couple volumes of World's End Harem. So I'll have Waifu make sure to put up some images here of what that is. But it's exactly
as appropriate as I can find.
It's exactly what you think it is. And it's a world where almost all men have been wiped out. And one man, a couple single living men have to sort of help repopulate the world. And a lot of people have different perspectives on how to do that. So it's a pretty interesting series. I've read the first 25 chapters, which I think is the first maybe 3 or 4 volumes. But just something that kind of caught my eye, and I just started to get into it. Definitely not sure it's going to be for everyone. It's ecchi, definitely 18 plus. Don't get into this if you are a small child. Definitely not for you. Very ecchi, very 18 plus. But I also checked out a seinen manga called Innocent, not available in English just yet, but I've been reading it online. And but I don't know if it'll ever be available in English. But it tells the story. It's also a historical fiction. So in the same line as Golden Kamuy, that's kind of what drew me to it, I think. I think I read the first 2 volumes, I believe, if I remember correctly. And it's a very interesting historical fiction about a young man who's in a line of executioners. He's sort of like the next in line to inherit this executioner lifestyle. But it doesn't really mesh well with him. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely maybe go check it out online. Hopefully we get an official English translation sometime in the future. Yeah. But as of this recording, we don't have any physical or digital translations for Innocent or its sequel as well, because there is a sequel to it as well that I think just completed in the last year or 2. So go check that one out as well. Innocent is the name of the series, so it's a seinen manga as well. But all right, Waifu, what is some of the physical manga you read this month?
Physical. So we'll start with the big boy. So we have Berserk, number 5.
Omnibus 5, baby.
By Kentaro Miura. So I read this in a night. I think Jerry was out doing something, And I was like, I'm gonna just sit down and just read this, because I read 1 through 4. Well, I read the first couple of chapters of 1 online, and then we started buying the physicals, the deluxe editions, which are amazing, by the way.
The only way to read Berserk.
It really should be the only way to read Berserk. So then I caught up and I got to 4, and then 5 is the only one I read in July, technically, so that's why I only have 5 out. But man, this part is rough, so just, content warning for pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So be wary of that. I mean, the series itself is known as gory and violent, and there's violence against women particularly, and I don't even know what else I can say just on YouTube, but it's amazing.
18
still.
plus. Don't
18
read this
plus.
if you're not an adult.
But still amazing. If you like that kind of stuff, definitely check out Berserk. And then
and Omnibus 5 is the conclusion of the Golden Age arc.
Oh, yeah.
So if you don't know what that is, it's sort of the first big arc of Berserk, and it is the start of the Conviction arc, which is the next big arc of Berserk. The Golden Age arc sort of tells the story of the protagonist in his younger years and sort of how he got to where he is. So that's the big arc that concludes in Omnibus 5.
Yeah.
So if I were you, buy the first 5, because once you read the first one, you're gonna want the next 4 at least. I think that the Golden Age arc is kind of a natural first stopping place for the series where you can kind of take a breather before you move forward on Berserk. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. The next series that I started is Dye Dark by Q Hayashida. Don't know if I said that correctly, really, but if you recognize it, also the same author as Dorohedoro, which had an anime come out on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And this definitely has the same vibes. I mean, the author is just all about kind of like weird, and there's also violence, but this one's set in space, and I liked it. I think it's also kind of humorous. I liked it more than I liked watching Dorohedoro. I haven't read it yet, but I think I am more bought in of the story of Dye Dark more than Dorohedoro currently, but maybe if I can read Dorohedoro in the future, I might like that too. But really cool, really well illustrated. I'm a fan. I got the 2nd volume. Spoiler for our haul in the future, but definitely like that too. If you like Berserk, you'd probably like this. So that's my recommendation for you on that. Then, Skullface Bookseller Honda-san, Volume 3. So I showed off the first 2 in our collection video, and just another short summary. It's about a mangaka that used to work in a bookstore, and you get to see kind of like all the ins and outs of working at a bookstore and working customer service in that capacity, but also working with publishing houses in Japan specifically. So I think it's really interesting. It's very funny. I actually just found out the other day that it has an anime. You can find it on Crunchyroll.
Oh, nice.
So I definitely want to check that out. Each episode, it's not like a full-length episode like most anime. It's, 10-minute episodes. So if you're looking for something that's light and funny to watch, that might be for you too. But definitely read it also so you can support the author. Yes. And I mean, the artwork is...
Is this the volume that has the Texans?
Yeah, it does. So we live in
Yeehaw!
Texas. And yeah, there
they are.
Yeah, we have some Texas in there. It's a father and son.
Some Texans, yeehaw!
They were looking for Naruto in Japan. A lot of the stuff in here is based off of the experiences of the author, so a lot of these characters are based off of people that they've interacted with in their store. So definitely love that. Okay, so next 2 are a part of Platinum End, 11 and 12. Again, I love the covers. This guy kind of looks like what's that guy, Ken?
He gives me like Kenpachi.
Yeah, Kenpachi in Bleach. He definitely seems inspired. That design does. She looks like a Final Fantasy character in this one, but she's like a social media influencer, which is why she's like on her phone and stuff. But again, I'm too out for finishing the whole series, so it's definitely coming close to a conclusion with these 2 volumes, and I have been enjoying it. If you didn't know, there is going to be an anime coming out later this year, so I'm excited for that too. And again, it's made by the creators of Death Note, so if you love Death Note, I think you'd probably like this too. We have seen a couple reviews online that aren't as favorable towards it, but I don't really see a problem with it. I've enjoyed it a lot. I think a lot of the questions and that get brought up about, you know, life and purpose are important things to talk about, especially for people that deal with mental health issues, which is kind of what all these people, all the main characters that we see in this manga series, they deal with that. So definitely recommend that for you if you like that.
So while Waifu is on the back end of Platinum In, I actually just started Platinum In, so I knocked out the first 2 volumes of Platinum In. So here's how awesome those covers are. Very sweet cover work from Obata. Right? Obata, yeah, I always get Oba and Obata mixed up. Obata is the artist. But yeah, like Waifu said, these are, I've really enjoyed it. It's a great start. I think it's a good start to a series, so I'm sure that maybe some people who are reading this monthly maybe had a different experience than us binging it. But for sure, I think that the theming is pretty prominent in this series, so if you like sort of that theme, just this idea of like finding your happiness, that's the theme that kind of gets put out in the beginning. And while it is a bit in your face when it comes to that, the art and the story still is pretty intricate and has a lot of twists and turns. It's not your standard action shonen. It's going to have a bit of that Death Note, Bakuman sort of psychological warfare sort of style to it. And that's what you're going to get when you get into Platinum In. So definitely worth a little bit of your time, I think, if that's something you're into. And if you like Oba and Obata's other works, I think it's worth a shot. So I'm excited to get into it, and Waifu's getting near the end, and maybe we can finish it together if I'm able to catch up to her.
Yeah, and I will say, I know that these first 2 volumes in particular are hard to find physical, but they are also available online on the
$2 a month
Jump app. $2 a month.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored.
I wish. But if you can't find it physically yet, it's definitely online for you to look at if you have the subscription to Shonen Jump. So check that out if you would like to do so. So the next series that I actually started is Witch Hat Atelier. I recently bought these both in the month of June, and then I decided to start it. I love the covers. I think they're so gorgeous, so beautiful. And it's about, it's in a sense kind of like a magical girl manga, but I'd say maybe it's a little bit more mature and less sparkly than what you would expect, you know. There are some dark elements in there, kind of like Madoka Magica, if you like that.
It's that dark. It's Madoka.
I wouldn't
dark.
say it's that dark, but there's there's some mystery in there, and you know, there's kind of like factions of dark witches versus good witches. Kind of like Harry Potter in a sense too, you know, there's the Death Eaters and then just the regular like normal witches and wizards. So but anyway, it's about girls that are learning how to do magic, and it's very interesting too because magic is done through drawing, so there's not any sort of like spells or incantations that you have to say. You draw kind of like Full Metal Alchemist in a way, where you draw the stuff and then it happens. Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes.
So definitely recommend it highly. I think if you like witches, magic,
it's off to a good start.
Yeah, I'd say it's off to a really great start without spoiling too much of the plot. All right, so for the next one, this is a beefy one.
You knocked out some big volumes. These were some ones that were some daunting guys. So
this is Rosa Versailles. It's the I don't even know what they're calling it. I would say it's a deluxe edition. Collectors,
something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't say specifically, and it's also published by something that doesn't really publish as much as other companies, Udon Entertainment. But oh my god, the cover is beautiful. The pages are like super high quality. If you ever have flipped through an art book or a photography book, they're almost like textbook pages, if you know what I mean. They're kind of that glossed over, very high quality, very sturdy pages. And again, it's kind of that historical fiction. It's a way older series. It started in the 70s.
Very old.
So it's super old. It's a shoujo. But if you like history, it's about the French Revolution, Marie Antoinette, and Louis the 16th or 6th, I don't know which king Louis was.
Louis the 7th or 4th!
The people that, they were the last in the monarchy before the French Revolution happened. So, you know, I think I enjoyed it. This is probably my first, review of the video, where it's definitely youthful, I would say. You know, it was made for young girls in Japan at the time.
It's a classic shoujo.
Yeah, it's very classic. So as an older, you know, person at this point in time, you know, I'm 26, so it's kind of like, am I too old for this? I can't decide, but I do kind of feel like I want to keep reading it. The volumes are kind of expensive though. They're $39.99, so almost as expensive as a Berserk volume, which is about $50.
There's only 5 total, and that's
but there's
the
only
whole
5.
Series,
so, you know, they do look beautiful. I feel
They're
like
gonna look
maybe
great
I
on the
would
shelf.
want to finish it. They are very heavy though, so be careful with that. I don't know. I think I've enjoyed it. Maybe it's not as much as some of the other stuff I've read so far, but it could definitely be a contender. You know, when you start a series, sometimes you're like, well, I'm not sure. I'll need to read a little bit more to find out. That's kind of how I feel with this one right now. So there we go. I'm gonna throw that over there. So the next one, also kind of classic, Maison Ikoku, by everybody's favorite Rumiko Takahashi, Inuyasha, Ranma 1/2, all those series, Mermaid Saga, Urusei.
Urusei Yatsura.
Was it Urusei Yatsura?
Yeah.
This one's really fun.
That's the content.
I liked it so much that you'll see in a video upcoming that I bought more because it was on a sale on a certain website, but we'll talk about that in another video soon. But you know, it's kind of like a comedy romance. You know, it's all these kooky people living in this housing complex together, and the new person comes in and she's running it. And one of the tenants, this guy that's trying to get into college, kind of like falls for her, but she's very hesitant for a specific reason. And if you don't want to be spoiled, skip ahead like 30 seconds, I don't know, but she lost her husband, so she's a widow, and she's still kind of hung up on that, where she doesn't want to feel like she's betraying her dearly departed husband. So even if she kind of wants to move on and she likes other men now, she's very hesitant to do that. So that's kind of like the general plot of it, but I'm excited to read more. I think it's really funny and humorous and cute. Oh.
All right, I'm doing one.
Yeah,
so
you go.
I have much less, and make sure you leave a thumbs up and also a comment down below for Waifu's massive reading log. Right, the Waifu has an enormous reading log, so make sure you leave a big thumbs up and a comment down below for which of these series is your favorite of the ones Waifu was able to clear through this month already in only half of, not even half, like a third of July at this point.
Only
so
a third of
like
July
a third. We were like, we've got to do a reading log because of how early on, and you've already read so much.
If we waited till the end of the month, it would
have
be
been
like an
probably
hour and a half
really
long
bad.
video.
So great. So if you watched our last haul video, our big haul that we did together, you would have seen that I would have picked up Land of the Lustrous Volume 1. And so I was able to read this volume, and I was really excited to read this after I picked it up, because I actually found this at Half Price Books for half off, and it was in really good shape. And, you know, when you find a good find at Half Price Books, you got to pick it up. And I saw that this was being advertised as sort of like Steven Universe, but anime and manga. And so I had to check it out. And so it's obviously about this gem on the front here, that her name is Foss, and stands for phosphorus. And essentially she's been assigned a role on this gym planet, and she's not happy about her role in life, and sort of is trying to overcome or move past that purpose, that role, and also try to work with all these other gyms to figure out like what their roles and purposes are. It's another story that harps on this concept of what is our role or what's our purpose in the world. And I think that this first volume got me really interested in the concept, and obviously I'm a big Steven Universe fan, so I was like, okay, if we've got gym characters, this is going to be super cool again. And I was totally right. The characters, the designs, the illustrations are really wonderful. And the style is just it's very different than what I would expect out of a standard anime and manga. It feels almost American in some ways, but it's totally not. You know, it's fully, you know, it's an original Japanese manga. And there is an anime adaptation of this as well that you can go check out as well. And what I found really interesting is that it actually came out like almost at the same time as Steven Universe, which is really weird. We kind of started doing some research that they kind of came out like almost simultaneously as they started. Lustrous was a little bit before, I believe, but just the fact that there's some concepts that overlap, like gyms and their work and the planet, although they are on planet, I believe Earth is what is stated in this first volume, so it's a very interesting version of Earth is all I'll say. So very much enjoyed this Land of the Lustrous Volume 1, if that's up your aisle, a little bit of action. I believe this is classified as a seinen series. I do think it gets darker as it goes on, is what I've heard. So I'm curious. I've heard Volume 4 is where there's kind of a turning point. But I'm excited to read more because of that. But if that's up your alley, sort of action, battle, characters, purpose, you're going to like Land of the Lustrous.
All right. Back to me. So I have been reading Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, and this is Volume 8. And I adore it. I think it's so cute. There's a lot of mystery to it, along with the supernatural stuff. But I actually just started Volume 9 today, before we were filming this, and it's the last one that's physically out currently. So, like, I want to catch up and, you know, be done with the physical volumes, but I'm also like, I want more, you know? So, yeah, definitely really cute. I kind of did a more extensive review of it in a different video, but...
And we'll make sure to put an eye up in the corner with all the different videos we've referenced here in this video.
So, there's that. It's great. So, we both read this.
Yeah, I think I read it a little before July, but then you read it
but
during
then
the
I
month.
read it because we both had to agree to read it and just to figure out if we wanted to buy more.
If we wanted more.
Because he read it and he's like, I don't know, you need to read it. Me, that is.
Yeah.
Before we decide, and I think we both have agreed that we don't like it, and we're gonna probably, you know, nix it from the collection. I don't know what more to say about it, except it's just... Yeah. I don't know. It's trying to be a rom-com, and...
It's very basic characters.
Yeah.
You know, you just got a really simple setup and a really simple concept. If you're really into cosplay, this might be a series you enjoy.
Yeah.
It is a little ecchi. This fan service doesn't really serve much of a purpose, other than to kind of embarrass the lead at this point. But if that's kind of your thing, you might enjoy that as well. But if you're really into cosplay, there are some concepts about cosplay that are present in this that might be really interesting to you. But aside from that, it's pretty... it's pretty simple. Basic characters. Probably not something that either of us could see ourselves reading more of.
Yeah, not really, so... I Dress Up Darling.
Yeah.
That's right. What it is, by the way. I don't even think I said what the title was. My Dress Up Darling. That's what it was. But I guess we don't really care anymore, do we?
Yes.
So we're gonna just try not to run out of room. Okay, so here's a big one.
Yes.
This is the last half of Happiness, and I finished it up this month. So I want to show all the covers because they're
beautiful.
Gorgeous. This is 6, this is 7, 8, 9 is one of at the top for me.
Yeah, look
personally.
At that. Look at that. Look at that.
A lot. And then 10.
10's also gorgeous.
I thought it was excellent. I don't really want to say a lot because a lot of the major stuff to the plot happens in this last half. But it's Shuzo Oshimi, and the art is it's gorgeous. It's fantastic. If you like writing more than art in manga, this probably isn't for you because it is all about the art. But it really is a great series about just adolescence and trying to grow up and the relationships you have with people, told kind of in the story of vampires. Right. Yeah, if you know anything about Shuzo Oshimi's work, you know that it's going to have some adolescence, it's going to have some puberty, some sexual deviancy. That's sort of his thing. And tension? I would say tension.
Tension. He's very much about that.
Yeah.
So if you're into that at all, you're going to want to check out Happiness because it's also got vampires.
Better than Twilight.
And to follow up the Waifu's Shuzo Oshimi binge, I also binged a Shuzo Oshimi story, Inside Mari. I'm only going to show the front cover because I showed all the covers in our other video where I just picked these up. So if you saw our Right Stuff haul video, I picked up volumes 2 through 7 of Inside Mari and immediately blazed right through them. And this is another story by Shuzo Oshimi. This is not completely printed here in the US. There is still 2 more volumes coming out, volumes 8 and volume 9. They're going to be coming out by the end of the year. So the whole series will be completed by the end of the year. But I was able to read 2 through 7. This is the big chunk of the story, right? I'm now in sort of the downward climb of the story. The basic concept is it's a body switching story, but there's a lot of mystery, a lot of intrigue, a lot of sexual tension. All of that stuff comes up in classic Shuzo Oshimi style. Although the series did come out, I believe, right before Flowers of Evil, which is kind of his big hit. Either came out right before or right after, I can't remember. But this was it's one of those stories that once you start reading it, you're just it's a page turner. Happiness, Flowers of Evil, Inside Mari, he's all about just visuals and carrying you with these visuals. And if you're into that, if you think that any of that works, go check out any of his works. Happiness, The Flowers of Evil, Blood on the Tracks, and Inside Mari. I would encourage you to check out any of those 4 and see if any of them work or click for you. Those 4 works are really very impressive works by Oshimi. So I'm excited to read the finale by the end of the year. And I really want to know what's up with Mari. I think there's a lot of interesting concepts at play here about gender identity and about who we are as a person and the types of people that we become because of our genders. And I think that there's some concepts here that really work in this series for Inside Mari. So I enjoyed that.
We're at the last one, kiddos. So the last one that I want to talk about that I read is Vinland Saga, Book 9. If you didn't know...
Sheesh! Book 9!
If you didn't know, these releases compile 2 volumes together. So even if I say volume 9, it's really, it's like 2 different volumes.
Yeah, it's like 17 and 18, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, gorgeous artwork. I love Vinland Saga. I mean, it's probably like the best thing I've found in anime and manga in recent years. So I'm so excited because Vinland Saga Season 2 got announced. It's going to be Farmland Saga. Hit the like button for Farmland Saga.
Vinland Saga Season 2, baby, finally.
And
means that I can get some more of it because I'm probably not gonna.
Nice color
I'm
pages.
probably
in
not
there.
gonna read the manga.
Man, Jerry, you just need to read it.
Yeah.
So after this one, I have 2 more left that are currently printed, and I'm so sad I don't want to catch up, but I'm gonna have to catch up.
12's out before the end of the year,
yeah,
so there'll be 2 more by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. I really don't want to have to, read it online. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but
yeah,
it's just so good. I love it so much. I'm holding this like I'm holding a child or something.
It's
I'm
like,
shh. So that's the end. That's where I've gotten so far with my reading, and I think you're done too, right?
No, I have one more volume I want to share with you all. And here's the deal: is it's a sneak peek of our haul this month because it's gonna come back up in that haul. But I did pick up a volume this month, and I just read it like the night that I bought it because I just couldn't. I just wanted to give it a shot. And here's the deal. This is a classic anime and manga, and one that I've been familiarized with before. I actually watched the anime a lot when I was a kid, but I never watched it beginning to end, and I never read it beginning to end, so I thought, okay, I'll pick up Volume 1 because it's being reprinted right now. At least Volume 1 is. I don't know if the rest of the series is going to be reprinted, but I hope that it does so that I can potentially pick up the individual volumes. But that is the classic Shonen Jump series, Slam Dunk. So I read the very first volume of Slam Dunk for the first time, and a lot of this I already knew storyline wise because, like I said, I've watched a pretty good chunk of the anime, so I already kind of knew what was going to happen. But it was really exciting to look at Takiko Inoue's original artwork for Slam Dunk. It's such a classic. You can just see how much he has grown as an artist between this and then his follow-up series Real and Vagabond, which are kind of heralded as some of the most beautiful artwork in manga. And this is, this is one of his first serialized works. So Slam Dunk tells the story of our big boy here, whose name is escaping me right now, which is unfortunate. But I don't know, actually, honestly, off the top of my head. Oh yeah, Hanamichi Sakuragi. Hanamichi Sakuragi. This is Sakuragi, and essentially he doesn't know dang doodly about basketball, but he falls very quickly for a girl. He's quite girl crazy, and she really likes basketball players. So he decides that he's going to be the best basketball player, and it sort of falls from there because he has a lot of natural skill, a lot of natural talent, and sort of wasn't focusing it into that. He was kind of more of a delinquent, is kind of the vibe you get from Sakuragi. So very interesting concept, and considered one of the best, not just best sports mangas of all time, but to some one of the best mangas of all time. So I was really excited to read Volume 1, and yes, it's a spoiler for our upcoming haul.
Did you say Vagabond?
Vagabond?
Is that the one that Dark Sage is everybody's telling him no.
Okay, here's what I want you to do. If you made it this far into the video, go on to the Dark Sage. We're going to put a link down below to how to get to his channel. Go to the Dark Sage's channel and go into his comments and just say, hey, Chase, check out Vagabond. Hashtag my waifu and me. If you got to this part, go to any of his videos and say, hey, Chase, check out Vagabond. Hashtag my waifu and me. We've sent anyone from this channel over.
Sorry, Chase.
Go and check him out right now. The Dark Sage, he's one of our great friends and collecting buddies when it comes to manga, so make sure you go check him out. Okay. That is the close of our reading log for the first half of July. We're going to check in with you guys hopefully at the end of July with even more of what we've been reading, both physical and digital, like we did this time. So if you enjoyed what you saw here, then you need to make sure that you press that subscribe button, press that like button, and leave us a comment, because that helps to grow our channel, right? So the more that you guys interact with the channel, the more the channel is going to be put out there for more people to see. So if you enjoyed what we're doing here, make sure you do that for us. And like that, it's been another episode of My Waifu and Me. Keep reading manga, keep collecting manga, and keep loving anime, you dirty weaves. This has been My Waifu and Me, and we're saying peace!